Hello everyone, welcome back to Blacksmith Studios. My name is Jack and today we are going to be talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine official trailer, and we're going to be breaking it down and doing an analysis of what has happened and any theories that I have for it. Now, this video is going to be slightly different due to the fact that the video doesn't really have many moments without copyright footage or copyright music, so I kind of want to avoid getting copyright noted or struck. I don't really want any of that. So if you guys know any way I can record the clips of the trailers without getting a copyright claim, or any way of doing a sort of clip for the trailer without the music in the background, the copyrighted music, then please do let me know. But until then, I'm going to try and do it this way just because I want to ensure that this video comes out. So anyway, let's start the trailer. Now, of course, the trailer starts in a bar, and this is in Canada. Now, Wolverine is usually in a bar, as we see many moments throughout the Fox X-Men movies where Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is spent in a bar, and of course, the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer shows no exception of that. We even have a very similar framing to how the teaser trailer for Insomniac's upcoming Wolverine game, as Wolverine is sat in a bar similarly, and this could sort of nod to the fact that Insomniac's version is taking heavy inspiration from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Now, the bartender tells Logan that he's not welcome there, nor is he welcome anywhere, and this is interesting because Wolverine in the Fox X-Men movies is known to be a hero, so it begs the question, is it because he's a mutant? Is it more bigotry towards mutants? Or has he been causing trouble? So, here are my two thoughts. Either Wolverine's in his original universe here, and because he's ruined his universe, the people of the world don't like him. Or the second option is that he's in 616, and obviously people don't know him, but he has been causing trouble. This is also referenced in She-Hulk because we see a news report in that series showing man with claws fighting in bar brawl or something like that. And this kind of could be a reference to that and could fill in that blank. This makes me think that this version of Logan is actually a different variant than the one we see in the Fox X-Men movies. And this kind of would separate him away from the ending of 2017's Logan. Logan pleads with the bartender and asks for one more drink before he, and then he will leave. But Wade shows up and says, "You've got to come with me," and he actually calls him Peanut. This is a reference to the cute pet name that Scott Lang's Ant-Man calls Cassie, his daughter. And if you know what's coming in the trailer, then you know this kind of a dark little nod here. Logan calls Deadpool. He says, "Look, lady, I'm not interested." This is interesting. Is this an attack on Wade's manhood? Or has Wolverine already met a Deadpool variant who is a lady? Lady Deadpool is rumored to be in this movie. So it could be that Lady Deadpool tried speaking with Wolverine first and then failed. So here we are with this version of Deadpool. Just another note as well. Like I said, this is clearly in Canada, as we do see in the background some Canadian flags. Just wanted to put that out there. The fact that Wade is being sent after Logan is interesting as well. So the reason Logan is being pulled in, why would the TVA want Logan if he destroyed a universe? So my thought is that Logan isn't in the right universe. He's now in 616, and Wade is being sent after Logan because, well, if Logan wants to put up a fight, it's better to throw a Deadpool at him who can't be killed by his claws. And obviously, this would be the TVA's way of avoiding any incursions that take place. Wade tries to pick up Logan, like I said, but Logan tries to retract his claws, but struggles because he's overly intoxicated. Deadpool, of course, makes a crude joke about, erectile dysfunction, and even says that it's common in Wolverines over 40. Which is a really funny comment. Deadpool then pulls out his gun at Logan, and the gun is engraved with the word "Smile, wait for the flash," which is just another example of Wade's, sick humor. The fact that Deadpool pulls out a gun makes me think that maybe he has adamantium bullets, because in the CinemaCon footage, we know that the katanas that Deadpool uses are made of adamantium. So it would go without saying that, the reason Deadpool pulls out a gun at Logan kind of makes me think that it could be because he's holding adamantium bullets in those guns. And it would make more sense. And, I mean, Logan even puts his head closer to the gun. Why would he care about being shot? So why would Deadpool pull out a gun? It's very, very strange. But anyway. We then cut to the Marvel Studios logo, which is now half red and half yellow. This is sort of connoting the fact that there are two protagonists of the film, and it's not just a Deadpool movie. Sean Levy has stated that this is not a Deadpool 3 exactly. Although it is a continuation of Deadpool's story, this is also a Wolverine story, hence the new title. We then go to an overhead shot of Wade and Logan facing off in what looks to be the Void from the Loki Disney Plus show. Obviously, this is very different to what we saw in the Loki series, but the Void could be huge, and my personal theory is that the Void becomes the battle world. So, of course, there will be different districts and different areas and biomes to these sort of areas, and a deserty-looking area is not too far-fetched. Now, we then see in this shot some scaffolding, some random pieces of debris, the CN Tower from Canada. Obviously, the fact that Logan and Deadpool have a Canadian sort of connection, as well as the fact that Ryan Reynolds is Canadian himself. I'm Canadian too, so it's cool to see. And of course, the 20th Century Fox logo, which came before every single one of the Fox X-Men movies, with the X right out there, nodding to the fact that at the end of the 20th Century Fox intro, there was always the X that left standing for a little bit longer. So the next shot we see is of Wade and all his friends as he's pleading with Logan to help him save his universe, and that he's about to lose everyone he ever cared about. Wolverine responds and says that it isn't his problem, but Deadpool comes back by saying, is that what you said in your universe went to, I'm not going to say that word, ruin? So this is obviously a thing in this trailer that Wolverine's world has been destroyed. And Deadpool's is under threat now, whether it's by the TVA or an incursion or some other way. And it's sort of up to Deadpool to kind of bring this Wolverine back to life, or at least try and make him more like the Wolverine that we've come to know and love. It could be that this version of Wolverine is inspired throughout the movie by the Fox X-Men version of the character. So it would be really cool to see that. So then we see Logan in a sort of flashback shot, surrounded by a line of monuments, and it's kind of as though he's in a graveyard. But I'm not too sure. These stone monuments could be for the fallen X-Men of his world, but they kind of look a little bit like Sentinel ships. Now, they could be Sentinel ships, but I don't think they would be lined up as neatly as this. And to be fair, it would be interesting if the monuments were made to look like the Sentinel ships because Sentinels killed the X-Men. But I just don't know. What I will say is that my theory in this world is that Logan did not kill Jean Grey. So in the events of X-Men The Last Stand, Jean Grey went on a rampage and she was going to be this big threat to the world, and Wolverine had to kill her, which was a very sad moment. But it could be that in this version, Wolverine failed to do that. And it's because of this later shot that I'll say this. So we then see a shot of Paradox back in the TVA, and he points at Logan on the ground and says that this version of Wolverine let down his entire world. Now, it's interesting that he says let down his entire world. It kind of says to me that instead of an action that Wolverine committed that caused the destruction of the universe, it's more like he failed to act that led to the destruction. So again, Wolverine not killing Jean Grey is a good example of this. And I also believe that this is a moment in the film where the TVA are revealed to be the bad guys. It could be that Paradox is trying to plead with Deadpool that, look, I'm doing this because it's for the greater good. I mean, this Wolverine destroyed his entire universe. I'm trying to help. But I just don't know, and there's not really much evidence to support that, I'm afraid. So the next shot we see is of the fight we've all been waiting for. Deadpool versus Wolverine. But what's interesting is that the way Logan slashes at Wade and the way Wade avoids all the attacks, it's kind of similar to how Peter Parker in Tobey Maguire's version tries to avoid the punches thrown by Flash Thompson in his first movie. It's really cool, and it's kind of just a meta nod. I don't believe that Sony characters will appear in this movie. I think that's very unlikely, but I still think it's cool nonetheless. During this fight, we see Wade being stabbed in the nuts. That's what I'm going to say. Nuts by Logan. And then we see a shot of Wolverine lying on top of Deadpool back to him. And Deadpool just firing shots in his hip over and over and over, which I think is quite cool. We see Wade and Logan back in a sort of diner looking area. I don't think this is the same bar at the start because Wolverine is in his costume. And Deadpool says, "Do you want to talk about what's haunting you, or do you want to wait for a third act flashback?" Obviously, Deadpool as a character and as a film is a meta commentary on superhero movies, so this could be that foreshadowing, and the flashback could be the one with the stone monuments. Now, we're getting really deep into this trailer as we see a shot of Deadpool and Logan coming around a street corner as we hear the music start to build. We see that Logan has now got no sleeves and his shoulder pads is missing. It is said that he rips off the sleeves during this film. He is supposed to have a mask during this film. Although we don't see it, apparently he's meant to wear the mask when the sleeves are off and on. So please, before you complain, he will have the mask. And this is obviously a reference to the fact that in the comics he's got this sleeveless look, and in X-Men 97 he's also got this sleeveless look. So, Deadpool tells Wolverine that he knows nothing about saving worlds, but Logan does. And he says this whilst he's showing a photo of his friends and family in a car that we see later on. It could be that this film will include a sort of road trip sequence. We do see them in this same car driving to Cassandra Nova's base, as well as the fact that Ryan Reynolds wanted Deadpool 3 to be a road trip movie with Deadpool and Wolverine, so it could be that sort of concept coming back. We obviously keep flashing back to the street as the two protagonists come out further and further. We see a shop called Liefeld's Just Feet. Now, this is a reference to the co-creator of Deadpool, Rob Liefeld. He made a cameo in the first Deadpool movie. I'm not too sure about the second one, but he was in the first Deadpool movie, and he's notorious for being unable to draw feet. Even Deadpool joked about this in Deadpool 2. So it's another nod to that. We see a shot of Logan saying, "Trust me, kid, I'm no hero." And he looks like he's by a campfire, and outside this could be part of the road trip in the void. And I don't think he's talking to Wade here. Although the dialogue seems to be all in one sequence, I believe that this is him talking to Laura, aka X-23, specifically from the 2017 Logan movie. Now, Daphne Keane is set to play an older version of this character because obviously she has grown up since 2017, which is 7 years ago now. Wow. So yeah, of course he'd be there, and she could be explaining to Logan this version that her version of Wolverine died a hero, and telling him all these stories, and maybe even showing him some comic books for it. This would kind of lay into the fact that this version of Wolverine clearly isn't the same one as the one we saw in Logan, but the Logan that we grew up with and watching in the Fox X-Men movies could be the inspiration that this Wolverine needs to become a hero. I think that would be an amazing concept, and I think this would be in a very emotional scene. We hear Wade continue to sort of plead his case to Wolverine, saying that he was an X-Man, and more specifically, the X-Man. Obviously, this is a reference to the fact that Wolverine in the Fox X-Men movies was the center character, and the other characters are sort of thrown to the side a bit, and Wolverine was the top main character. Hugh Jackman was in more movies than anyone else out of those Fox X-Men movies, so it's kind of interesting to see. The music starts building as Deadpool jokes about being soaking wet, and we see Wolverine's claws retract out of the knuckle sheaths of his suit. It's beautiful. We cut to Wade attacking more TVA agents in that same forested area, which I do believe may still be in the void. And it could be that Forrest from 2017's Logan being transferred to the Void. I just don't know how the Void will work in that case. We cut to Emma Corrin's character coming out in Ant-Man's skull. This is insane. Now, apparently she's going to be a multiversal threat to this movie. I'm not too sure if she will have a, presence in the MCU going forward, but she comes out, and if you actually look behind her, there's actually a wheelchair. So they could pull a fake out where she's sitting down on the chair, rolling up, and then she stands up. A bit like, oh my God, it's Charles Xavier. Oh, no, it's not. And she stands. So just to sort of connote to the audience, yes, I'm not Charles Xavier. I'm someone far worse. Cassandra Nova, if you don't know, is Charles Xavier's twin sister. There's a bit more to that story, but basically she is the evil twin of Charles Xavier. She's got pretty much the power set that he does in the Fox X-Men movies, but apparently this Cassandra Nova has a sling ring and Magneto's helmet to block out any psychic attacks. There's not really any psychics that I know in the trailer, but we could see the Jean Grey that I referred to earlier in this film, and it could be that Jean Grey is the threat that Cassandra Nova is trying to protect from. Either that, or it has some way to defend against Alioth, but we'll get to that. We do see a better shot of the Ant-Man trailer, the Ant-Man base later, but before we do, we obviously see another sort of shot of Logan and Wade fighting, both using their adamantium weapons against each other. Wade has been given adamantium swords from the armorer in the TVA, as referenced in the CinemaCon footage, so that gives him the sort of edge to fight against Wolverine. We see another shot of Wade fighting more Minutemen. We see another one with Wade suiting up and another with Wolverine charging through the car that we saw earlier. I do believe that we saw a glimpse of this in the teaser trailer as well. So Wolverine would charge from the front of the car to the back of the car to attack Deadpool. But then the next shot we see is of this same car in the same sort of area as Wade gets thrown into the air. I don't believe this is in sequence. I think this is very different. I think it's more likely that Wade flies out, then lands in the backseat, and then Wolverine charges for him. We see a shot of Cassandra Nova talking in a British accent as she says, "Boys are so silly." In this version of Cassandra Nova, she could have killed her Charles and her X-Men and thrown into the void because of it, meaning that she is this big multiversal threat that Wolverine and Deadpool have to face. The next shot we see is of Alioth, this big cloud monster from the Loki series that can destroy anything within the void. So things are pruned, land in the void, and Alioth destroys it. It could be that Battleworld is simply just the void later on without Alioth to clean it up. And if you actually look closely, you can actually see the Ant-Man corpse that Cassandra uses as her base with her Raiders. Speaking of this corpse, we see a great shot of the helmet opening up. And in this shot, we see so many characters. But before we do, why is an Ant-Man corpse here? I believe that Ant-Man was pruned because not because he did something wrong, but maybe because he didn't come back at the right time for the Battle of Earth. Or maybe this version of Ant-Man didn't get to go into the quantum realm to help in the events of Avengers Endgame. And instead he was pruned and then killed by Alioth. It gives me very Old Man Logan vibes, because in the Old Man Logan comics, we do see a dead giant man corpse. So it's very interesting of how he got there, but I doubt they'll be able to explain why he got there. But anyway, in this amazing shot, we see a few characters. We see Azazel, who is Nightcrawler's father, returning from X-Men First Class. We did know that he died in X-Men Days of Future Past, but of course, the last time I saw him was X-Men First Class. We see Lady Deathstrike from X2. This is a character who worked with William Stryker and has adamantium claws, similar to Wolverine, but they come out of her fingernails. And then we see another character who is new to the MCU called the Russian. He's the one wearing a red and white stripy shirt. The Russian is a character from Marvel Comics who is usually a Spider-Man or a Punisher villain. So it's interesting to see him in a sort of mutant project with the multiverse, but it's still cool. In this shot towards the right, we see a Red Skull car from Captain America: The First Avenger, as well as a version of the Fantastic Car on the left side of the frame. That's all I could see and make out. We do see Pyro in the right of the frame, I think. But obviously we knew he was returning from the first trailer, regardless. Another part of this trailer is sort of with the Fantastic Car, makes me think Chris Evans may actually be returning as a variant of the Human Torch. Of course, Chris Evans played the Human Torch in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, so him returning as an older version of the Human Torch would be amazing. Apparently, the Raiders are going to have some X-Men characters, and the sort of resistance to that team will include Elektra and Human Torch, played by Chris Evans. But we just obviously don't know that yet until we get a bit more footage or maybe the trailer, the full film releases. But I do believe that this film will include everything that was once owned by Fox. We see a few good shots, nothing really of important. We do see Wade and Logan in front of the Liefeld shop again with this explosion behind him, and Wade is holding Dogpool, which is a variant of Deadpool, who is literally a dog. Not much more to say. But what's interesting again is I think that this shot with Deadpool and Wolverine walking out may be sort of altered in a way. We could have multiple variants of those characters. We could see characters like Kidpool, Babypool, Headpool, and Dogpool walking out with Wolverine. With Deadpool, and with Wolverine, we could see X-23 and Natalia Tenor's version of X-23, and maybe even Patch alongside Wolverine, and it could be a full team-up shot. We just don't know, but this is sort of what we know, and of course, other rumors have stated that Wolverine Pool and Lady Deadpool will also be appearing in this movie, but apparently they will not be on Wade's side. They will be more antagonists and working with the TVA. Just to go more into Headpool as well, Headpool is apparently a Weapon 11 variant of Deadpool that we saw in X-Men Origins Wolverine that people did not like at all. Apparently, he was decapitated at the end of that movie, so Headpool is kind of the same version of him, but with a mask, and obviously now he's just a head. And I did do a YouTube short on it, but he has a little propeller hat as well, which is really cute. But we don't really see any other variants of Wade or Logan in this trailer, but obviously this is just from sort of what we've heard. We cut to a Mad Max-inspired shot with one of Nova's Raiders riding a sort of platform pulled by 3 motorcycles. Now, I think we saw the platform in the first teaser trailer, which had this device on it. People assume that it may be being used to summon Goliath, or at least use his energy, but we just don't know. We cut to Logan trying to attack Cassandra Nova, but she puppeteers him using her mind abilities. It's absolutely incredible, and he literally gets his claws stabbed into the ground. As I said, she is very, very powerful. Now, going on further, the background of the shot, we do see that there's sort of a Cerebro-looking sphere kind of thing, like a dome. We just don't really know if she is trying to build a Cerebro and what she could be doing. It could be used to enhance her powers so that she can maybe tap into the TVA or other universes, but we just don't know. So then we see a few more shots of Wolverine and Deadpool fighting. We do see Wade in then an underground area that we saw in the first teaser trailer. It's hard to tell where this actually is in terms of the story. I believe it's obviously in the void, but we see a skull bed from Thor Ragnarok, which Hulk slept in the background. So it could be that Wolverine or Cassandra fought a version of Hulk. And there are rumors that Wolverine will be fighting a variant of Hulk in this movie, which would be absolutely incredible. And he then says, "Let's effing go." And it's such a hype moment. Deadpool says it, then we see a close-up shot of Wolverine as he says, "Let's effing go." And it's so hyped. And it's just an incredible and epic moment in the trailer. I cannot wait. Pretty much the last shot is of Wade and Logan jumping through a Doctor Strange portal out of the eye socket of the Ant-Man skull. Now, in the background, you can see Goliath is approaching, so this could be Cassandra trying to help them escape, but I don't understand how Cassandra could be helping them. It could be that Cassandra, rather than a villain, full stop, could be just someone that is an antagonist, but then tells them that the TVA are at fault, and she's actually helping them get out of the void, maybe, or just get further away before Eliath kills them. But it could be that Cassandra isn't the main villain of this film. We just don't know. The final scene is of Blind Al and Deadpool talking about cocaine. Now, Wade says that Feige said that that is the only thing off limits and they can't do it. And he even says that they've got a list of slang names, as you know, including Bolivian marching powder, snowboarding, disco dust, white girl interrupted, forest bump, and do you want to build a snowman? This is, of course, a reference to Kevin Feige, who is the head of Marvel Studios. And, of course, because Disney has acquired Fox, clearly Feige went, yep, that's fine, but not that. This could just be the strict reminder of the fact that Disney don't really do R ratings. So Deadpool and Wolverine is a cool little thing in terms of a movie that is finally an R rated that Disney are producing. But other than that, that's the end of the trailer. I really hope you did enjoy this trailer breakdown. I'm sorry it's different. I'm sorry it may not be as good as the other ones I've done, but this is sort of the only thing I could think of without this trailer just being struck off. So I do hope you do enjoy this video. Please let me know your theories and your comments and anything in terms of advice that you can give me as well. I do hope you like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Remember, I have got a Transformers 1 breakdown that I am also doing. So please stick around for that. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe, comment down below. Let's start a discussion about this. I really look forward to hearing what you think. And yeah, hope you have a great day. Bye.